Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm reviewing another variety of CBG bud instead of the usual CBD. This one is called Sour G and it was sent to me by the folks at Tweedle Farms out of Oregon. If you're not familiar with CBG, it's another cannabinoid similar to CBD, but with its own unique effects. And it's legal pretty much everywhere that CBD is. So with that out of the way, let's open this bag up and give it a sniff. Not too surprisingly, the smell is very subtle. It's a bit woodsy and herbal, but otherwise you can tell that there's not too much going on in terms of terpene content. So far, I've tried half a dozen varieties of CBG bud, and none of them have been very aromatic. My understanding is that the way they breed them to maintain high CBG content essentially pauses their terpene production. Maybe one day someone will find a way to get the terpene content up without losing the CBG, but for now this is pretty standard. I will say though, it's not an unpleasant smell. I've had some CBG bud in the past that had a sort of musty quality that I personally found off-putting. These just smell more woodsy and herbal than anything else. As far as appearance goes, they look great. Nice, fluffy, light green buds with these like amber colored hairs. This Sour G strain was bred by Oregon CBD out of, well, Oregon. And I've talked about them in previous videos. They're a really big name when it comes to breeding hemp strains. Just about every farm or vendor sells at least one of their strains. They created this one from the sour diesel lineage, thus the sour in the name. But other than that, I can't seem to find much information about how they bred it to only produce CBG. I do know that in the cannabis plant, THC and CBD both start out as CBG, and then some chemical reaction in the plant converts the CBG into those other cannabinoids. So somehow they're breeding the plant to stop that chemical reaction so that it all stays in CBG form. And my understanding is that stopping that reaction is what causes the terpene content to be so low. But the only thing left to do now is to give this bud a try. So as usual, I have about 0.4 grams ground up and loaded into a dry herb vaporizer. And it hits pretty smooth. Again, not a ton of complexity since it is CBG bud, but I do get a slight diesel note on the hit that I wasn't getting from the nose. And yeah, it's not bad at all. As far as the effects go, I find CBG on its own to be pretty subtle, and for me, it's mostly physical. I've been doing a lot of yard work lately, so at the end of the day, my back gets pretty sore from all of the shoveling and bending over. But after about 3 or 4 decent hits from this bud, it does seem to reduce that muscle soreness. And I know that a lot of people take CBG to help with things like pain and tension. I've also heard people say that CBG is more stimulating for them than CBD, and that they take it in the morning to kind of wake them up. For me, it doesn't really have that stimulating effect, but I will say that it's nowhere near as sedating as CBD is. Personally, what I like to do is mix CBG bud like this into my CBD bud. That way, 1, I get more terpenes and flavor from the CBD strain, and 2, I find the combination of them, that entourage effect, is more noticeable than either of them on their own. I get more physical relief from the CBG with the relaxation and anti-anxiety effects from the CBD, which for me is a great way to unwind at the end of the day. Regardless of why you take CBG, this batch tests in at being about 13% total CBG, with some trace amounts of THCA, CBD, and CBC. And this 8-gram bag cost $40, but you can get a 30-gram ounce for $90, so definitely a better deal if you get the larger quantity. Well, that's it for this video, but before you go, let me know in the comments section, do you find CBG to be more uplifting or more relaxing? And do you use CBG on its own, or do you mix it with CBD bud like I do? But for now, stay chill, and I will see you next time.